Ron, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So Ron, you're the chairman of the editorial committee for SIU Today, correct?
I am.
So there's been a lot of changes with SIU Today in 2020, along with a lot of changes in just the world in general. So I guess it's a perfect year to do that. Kind of wanted to talk to you about what these changes are, what it means to vendors, what it means to people writing articles, and just anyone that's involved with SIU Today. So before we get into that, what's your professional background?
Sure. I've been in the insurance industry for about 23 years now. About 19 of them have been in special investigations. And I got involved with SIU Today primarily when I was elected to the International Board in 2007. I was assigned to that committee and have been with them ever since. So I've enjoyed it.
So what is SIU Today, and how did you get involved with it?
Sure. So SIU Today is the publication for the International Association of Special Investigations Units. From an historical perspective, ISU has always had a publication ever since the creation back in 1984. Initially, it was a newsletter entitled In-House, which kind of just informed the members, of recent fraud trends and things to kind of look out for. And that slowly evolved into what was called then SIU Today Awareness Magazine. The board at the time began to sell ads in order to kind of offset the financial burden, it was for the publication. Around 2005, that's when the name changed to SIU Today Magazine. And around 2015 or 16, that's when we kind of went digital for all four of the issues. And for 2015, I think until around 2018, we still published the winter issue because there are some members that still, like to have that tangible, piece of paper in their hands. But since the world is, digital and we want to keep up with the times, we decided to, minimize our costs from a publication standpoint. We eliminated the winter issue, and now we're all digital. So it's been kind of exciting to watch the evolution of the publication over the years.
So what are some of the most popular articles and stories in SIU Today?
Sure. So the editorial committee, we always try to, frankly, have a pulse, of what people want. So any feedback that we get, is always truly appreciated. Every other year, we've been sending out a survey to our members, just asking them of their input. What do they like? Is the length of the articles, appropriate? What are the topics that you want to learn and read about? And the last time we did that was in 2019 in the fall. And the top three issues were content that our members wanted to read about was any type of practical investigative techniques that they can read about and use, right on the spot. Secondly, any type of medical or workers' compensation, investigative techniques. And third, arson, whether it's at the vehicle or the structural content. Those are the top three that people really want to learn about. We've also been very lucky to have some very talented columnists over the years, such as Joe Stevenson. He produces and writes the social media. Rick Hammond does our USA legal updates. Mike Skiba, or AKA Dr. Fraud, he does the educational update. NICB does a great job, as well as the coalition. So we've been very lucky to have those partners through the years continue just to educate our members.
So what are the changes that have taken place with SIU Today in 2020?
Yeah, lots of changes, actually. So last year, the board just kind of decided maybe we should update or kind of revamp the publication. And we ended up changing our publisher to Allen Press. And they have an exciting and engaging new platform. So our members will still be able to read, the issues on their desktop, but also, on their cell phones or tablets. And you can still print off issues or particular articles, if you want something tangible. But our members are able to read the issues from a variety of different ways. And hopefully they're using them not only in their personal growth, but, in their training opportunities as well. So, and I'll give you an example. So for the fall issue that's coming out, Joe Stevenson, who's a great writer, and he's always got, great content. The article that he's written, Intertel, that's the company that he works for, has been kind enough to buy an ad and they've placed a video within inside their ad. So when a reader gets done with Joe's article, he encourages the reader to then click on the ad, and it comes up with a video. The video will now show you step by step on some of the techniques, investigative techniques that Joe was talking about in his article. So it's just so much more engaging. So a reader will be able to read what Joe's talking about, see what he's talking about, and hear Joe's kind of walk you through the process. So it's an exciting new level of engagement that we're hoping our members and readers will appreciate.
And this is something that wasn't possible on the old platform, correct?
That's correct. Yes. So
what's the benefit for a vendor like PhotoFax to advertise in SIU Today?
Sure. Great question. So SIU Today reaches, the 4,000 members that we have worldwide, the 600 insurance companies and self-insurance companies that we have as employees. And our advertisers are consistently telling us that they can see responses to their ads when they invest with us. And with this new platform, there's some interesting enhanced or premium features, such as the videos that we talked about, expandable ads. And what I mean by that is that, there could be a small, 1/6 size ad, but if you click on it, it expands the entire page. So that's a little bit more, attractive to the eye. And also the digital video half-page inserts that we were speaking about earlier. And the best way to kind of describe that is try to remember the last time that you were flipping through a magazine, and you see one of those little paper inserts, in between the pages. We have a digital comparison to that. So an advertiser can use all of the enhanced data that we're gathering on our readers and place that half-page ad wherever they like, throughout the magazine. So in order to try to increase, traffic and readership to their ads. So the data that we're able to get tells us, how many readers that we're getting on a weekly basis, how long they're spending on each page, what state they are from, within the United States, and as well as what other countries, as well as it tells us what specific devices they're using. So it's.
Are you going to share that data with other vendors?
Absolutely. So yeah, so we have that data available for any advertisers and potential advertisers in order to help them make the best business decision from their perspective as well. Because we want to try to provide as strong as ROI or return on investment as we possibly can for our vendors.
So what hiccups have you ran into with the coronavirus and everything kind of getting shut down in 2020?
Well, you can hear me knocking on wood. Have not. Allen Press and the editorial committee that we have been able to work together to produce, in my opinion, some great issues this year for the spring and the summer. So we've had some challenging times, but I think we're doing a great job, and so far so good. So hopefully that continues.
Have vendors been reluctant to advertise this year just due to the possibility of their workflow going down with everything going on?
I think there's uncertainty across the board in so many ways. But then other ways, surveillance companies I know are quite busy because even though people are locked down, at their houses, hopefully, there's still a great deal of activity that, claimants, are doing work outside. It's still very active. Golf courses are still very busy. So, it's been an interesting road to kind of traverse through, but I think for the most part, they're still getting, strong investments.
So how do you see SIU Today evolving over the next 5 years? I know you've done a lot of evolving already, but what do you see happening?
Well, frankly, our main goal right now is to continue to publish relevant and useful information for our readers. So in the next 5 years, I think that is our main goal still. We also want to continue to build upon our SIU Today library as a valuable resource. Earlier this year, the board decided to make the financial commitment to take the last 5 years of SIU Today issues and bring them over into the new platform. So in essence, that has created a library of sort for our members. So if If a member is interested in a particular topic about arson or vehicle investigations or police body cameras, they can use that database in order to find that information, within the specific issue of SIU Today. So hopefully we'll continue to build that valuable resource in the days to come.
So I don't think you mentioned it during this interview, but when are the issues of SIU Today released?
Sure. So the publication date for the fall issue, that's the most one that's coming up, is around September the 11th, I believe. And off the top of my head, I don't recall the winter issue. So that is in December sometime, maybe the first week of September. So that's usually the pattern, March, June or July, usually June, September, right around the conference, and then December.
Okay. Do you have any additional comments or anything you'd like to add for the viewers to understand SIU Today better?
Well, first, I'd just like to say thank you, for taking the time and allowing me to talk about SIU Today, you and your colleagues at PhotoFax. It's truly appreciated. And I also want to recognize and thank all of the advertisers over the years who have helped support SIU Today. I know the ISU board, we could not have produced, this magazine without their support. And frankly, lastly, I'd like to thank each member of the editorial committee, Amy Stedham, Angela Polakowski, Ellen Withers, Leslie Peterson, Lisa Conway. It's an absolute pleasure to work with such high caliber professionals. And these ladies, they truly care about the magazine, and it's a pleasure working with them. So thank you again.
So if I interview them, they're not going to tell me that Ron Bryant's really hard on me and it's tough working underneath them.
I hope not. I hope not.
Okay, great. Well, Ron, thanks for taking the time to explain SIU Today, and I look forward to seeing you at virtual IAGO this year.
It's my pleasure. Take care and be safe.
All right, have a good one.
Take care.